Hello, survivors. Should that be my new intro? Like, hello, survivors, instead of saying, hey, guys? Or would that be weird? Let me know what you think. Anyway, so I didn't write notes on this video at all. So I'm gonna take a deep breath and just try to get into it. So I've talked before about my fiance's mother being a narcissist, and I went like a year and a half, 2 years, or somewhere around there, not speaking with his family because of stuff that his brother did, taking him to court, and his mom flipped out because I took him to court. Now, if it was just his first time ruining my property, probably not. But since it was the second time and it was becoming a habit, and I let him get away with it, he would just keep on doing it. So I needed a way to tell him, hey, it's not okay. So I took him to court, and their mom was like, how dare you do this to my son, da 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 da, you know, acting like her kids are perfect and everything. So I want to talk about, I guess, well, it's going to be about her, but I think I'm going to talk about how controlling narcissists are. And damn, I just want to say she is insanely controlling. I'm doing it black and white because it's kind of like a sad video, because trying to avoid talking about it because it hurts. If you have seen our Cocker Spaniel, Molly, in other videos, you won't be seeing her again. She passed away. We actually had to have her put to sleep. She was 13 years and 9 months old. She was an old girl. But she had hip dysplasia, arthritis in her legs, and then I found out both of her back legs are, her kneecaps are on the sides. Like, this is your kneecap, this is the cup that's supposed to hold your kneecap. This, I guess, had grinded down over the years, so her kneecap just kind of moved over to the side. So she had a lot of issues walking. Now, they could have dealt with the hip dysplasia when she was younger, but they didn't. Not only did my fiance tell me, but I also witnessed it for myself, that his mom had wanted her locked up in a cage all day while everybody was at work or school. So she spent 10, 12, 14 hours all day in a little cage, and that made her hip dysplasia and everything. It made it very difficult for her to walk. She often walked on 3 legs. So this was in the beginning of our relationship, is when I noticed it. Like, I would meet my fiance at his home where he stayed with his mother. And I would notice, like, I'd meet him there after he got to work, and we'd walk in the door, and first thing he would do was let her out of the cage, and then let the other dog go to the bathroom too, because they also had a German Shepherd. She actually passed away last year. So very early in the relationship, I was like, I love Molly. I fell in love with her quickly, and I was like, I can't go through life knowing that every single day she's in a cage all day. And from what I was told by her and him, is that she peed on the carpets, and she peed all over the floor. So I'm like, bring her to my house. I'll take care of her during the day. And so that happened. It would be on and off. Sometimes he would go back to his house with her, or she would go back to his house with him to spend more time with him, like when he wasn't staying with me. And I taught her not to pee on the floor. It didn't take long. I think it took maybe a couple weeks, but eventually she got it. She could be left home alone for long periods of time and not pee on the floor. So all it took was a little bit of training, and I guess they just, my fiance was young when, his name is Jerry. So when Jerry was young, I think he was like 14, 15 when they got her. So he didn't know how to train her, and his mom had had dogs before, so she should have known how to train her, but I guess they just didn't want to. But in any case, she suffered the last 2 weeks of her life really bad. In the last 5 days of her life, she had like 103 fever that wouldn't go away. Legally, her AKC paperwork is in his mom's name. I'm starting to shake already because I'm getting a little mad at her. And she was trying to say, oh yeah, AKC paperwork is proof that I own her. She didn't want to have Molly put down. I already knew Molly needed to be put down because there was nothing that could be done. I had already taken her to the doctors. The only option that he said was to amputate both of her back legs, because the one that she was holding up, like in the way she was walking, her other back leg could barely support the rest of her. So she was putting all of her pressure on her front legs. In the last couple days of her life, what little she walked, she scooted. So both of her legs weren't being used. And we also had to pick her up. Like if she had to, when she wanted to go out to the bathroom, we had to pick her up, bring her down the stairs, let her do her business, pick her up, bring her back up the stairs. And this was brought on because I think she got 1 or 2 stairs up when we were coming in the house, and she tumbled backwards onto my feet, and I just didn't catch her in time when she stumbled. So I decided it was better just to pick her up because I didn't want her falling again, and especially with her being sick. But in any case, he said amputation was the only way, but because of her age and her other health issues, she didn't have a quality of life. She was just going to be miserable. She wasn't going to be able to do anything at all. So he said he highly recommended euthanizing her. So I said, okay. And I wanted to take her home, let her have another night of eating fast food, pizza, whatever. Just let her splurge on all the food that she wanted. Let her have a good day before I put her down. Now, years ago, I think it was over 4 years ago, she told Jerry, hey, I should put the AKC paperwork in your name because she's yours. I was standing right there when she said it on the phone. His phone was loud, so I heard it myself. Now she's claiming she never said it and that Molly's her dog. And I'm like, she's been steadily living with me for 4 years. Well, for over 4 years. And then for about a year and a half before that, she lived with me off and on. And she was like, oh, well, you're not her owner. If I gave her to anybody, I gave her to Jerry. And I'm like, Jerry has the right to give me half ownership. And I asked him myself, I said, was I or was I not Molly's owner? And she thinks that and he said yes, because I was with her all the time. I took care of her. I paid her vet bills. I paid her grooming bills. I paid for her food. I paid for her toys. I have so much to do with her in my name The only thing that wasn't in my name was the vets. Even though I paid the bills with my card, I just thought it would be easier to keep her under his mom's name at the vets because they had all of her medical history, and I thought that that would benefit Molly for them to just keep all that instead of having things confused and switching owners. So when I told her, hey, I just want to let you know we need to put down Molly, wanted to see if you wanted to see her one last time. I let her know as a courtesy. I didn't let her know because she's an owner, because she's not. AKC paperwork is not ownership paperwork. I've already learned the legalness of it, and it's basically just to prove breed, litter, bloodline, stuff like that. It is not who owns her. So she fought with me about it. I want to get to the original issue. She was driving and her transmission or something blew and she was mad. Now, if you know narcissists, when they're mad, they need to make everybody else miserable too. So she called Jerry up on the phone. She's complaining to him and going off on him and stuff like that. And I guess her getting mad made him get mad. It's a domino effect. So anyway, he had preheated the oven for a pizza, but then he left the house. And I'm like, oh, he left without saying anything. So I'm like, okay, I don't know where he's going, but he left the oven on. He's done it before where he's wanted to cook things and left the house and then just left it there. And I had to deal with it. So I turned off the oven, and then like a few minutes later he comes back in the house, and he's on the phone with her, and he mentioned something. He's like, oh, she turned the oven off. I gotta preheat it, which it only took like another minute or something. And once it was preheated, he put the pizza in, and then he left again. I don't know where he went again. But while he was gone, the pizza was finished cooking. So I took it out of the oven because I didn't want it to burn. And next thing I know, she's blowing up my phone, telling me that I'm trying to starve her child and stuff like this because I turned off the oven. She mistook what he said. For some reason, she thinks I did it maliciously. And I'm like, he left the house. He's cooked food before and left it cooking, left the house and went and got fast food, and then came back with the food still cooking. So, a pattern. And I said I wasn't going to also sit there and have it preheat for hours, didn't know when he was coming back. And she was like, oh, well, you should have texted him. I'm like, no, he's a big boy. I don't need to sit there and ask him where he's going all the time. See, him and I have like freedom in our relationship where we both have parents that are constantly down our throats and invading our privacy. So we both believe in freedom in our relationship where we can just walk out the door and go somewhere and we don't have to tell you where we're going. And for us, it's a little piece of privacy, a little piece of freedom, even though most of the time he'll come back with food for me or drink for me and my daughter. But I kid you not, this woman spent about 3 to 4 hours cussing me out on the phone through text, and then later called me and hung up on me after screaming at me all over this pizza. And he's trying to tell her on the phone, you misunderstood the situation. You need to stop. You're just treating her like this because you're mad about your transmission on your car. So then the whole thing with Molly began with her saying, I don't know who you think you are, that you can just kill someone else's dog. You're a dog killer. She talked crap about me, my life, telling me, you know, oh, you're a crazy bitch. That's why your husband left you. Mind you, I've told her before that I'm the one who left him. And then she was like, some reason in the middle of this argument, she's like, oh, why don't you tell me about how Jerry proposed to you? You never told me that story. And she already knows, so it was an obvious dig. Now, I don't know if I told you guys, but he didn't propose. Just, he was getting ready to go in the military and all this stuff, trying to get stuff going for that. And we were talking about our future, and then we just talked and decided, hey, you know, let's just get engaged. I don't even have a ring. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't bother me. Some girls get proposed to. Some people take a different road and just both parties discuss it and decide, hey, this is what we want to do. So she wanted to try to make me feel bad for that. And she talked crap about my kids, saying that my kid's gonna grow up and do drugs and be a criminal and all this other crap. So I'm like, yay, good for you. You freaking talk crap about a 10-year-old. And I said, at least my kids aren't an alcoholic, and you know, one of them being a drug addict and brags about having STDs and claims rape whenever he gets in trouble for stealing someone's laptop. I went off on her, telling her exactly what was on my mind. Something happened to Jerry when he was younger, and she knew about it, and she did nothing about it, and I finally told her how I felt about that. And I'm like, you were his mother. You should have had the other person jailed. You should have done something about it. He was just a kid. Younger than my daughter. I think he was 7. So she decided that she was going to make this all about Molly and make this very hard on me and make Molly suffer more. So I was taking Molly to the vet to have her put down, and she had put a block on her account that nobody's allowed to take her to the vet except for her. So when I got there and said that, they said, oh, you know, she said this, but let me give her a call. So they called her, and then she gave verbal permission, but she said she wanted to know everything, every step of the way. Like, she wanted them to keep calling her, but yet every time they called her, she didn't freaking pick up. So I was at the vet's office for 5 hours because of her, and waiting on phone calls and waiting on decisions, because she said she wanted this. What she wanted to do was she wanted to come take Molly. She didn't want to put Molly down. So her plan was to come to my house. She told Jerry, she said she was coming down, she was going to take Molly, and Molly was going to go live with her. Now, her other dog, the German Shepherd that passed away, she made that dog suffer for about 3 or 4 months before finally putting her down. All because she couldn't deal with, I guess, missing her or something. But I understand, it kills me too that she is gone. I have cried multiple times a day, every single freaking day. But in the end, I was Molly's only advocate. I wanted her pain to stop, and I think a lot of it is because I'm with her all day, every single day, so I've seen the pain she's in. I see her struggle. She went 4 days, almost 4 days, without eating anything. I had to bring her water because she wouldn't get up and go to her water dish to drink. And so she laid on the couch, and every so often I'd bring her water bowl, and she'd lick. I know I'm jumping around everywhere, But when she said she was going to come down and get her, I took my daughter and I took Molly and I went to a friend's house. And I told Jerry, you know, when she comes, tell her we're not here and we're not coming back until she's gone. Just, you know, tell her I got a hotel room or something. That pissed her off because she wanted to take Molly. And then she kept changing her story. She was like, oh, I was just trying to see her. You tried to steal me, or you tried to steal my last opportunity to say goodbye to Molly and stuff like that. And I'm like, you don't understand. You said you were coming to take her to live with you when she's not your dog anymore. I said, you can't give someone a dog and then just decide 4 years later you want her back. And then just come and take her. Molly doesn't deserve to suffer for months because she can't let her go. Actually, it probably wouldn't have been months. It would have been more like weeks because her body had actually already started to shut down on its own. So it would have been a while, but she would have went on her own anyway. That's no way you wouldn't do that to a loved one. Make them suffer just because you can't bear the thought of losing them. So I came back after she left, which was a couple hours. And then the whole incident with the vet happened when I took her to the vet the next day to have her put down. And I was there for 5 hours, and then she also, at the end, she tried to pull some sneaky stuff. At the vet, she demanded that they take Molly from me and board her in a cage in the vet's. And then she will come by and get her in the morning. So as soon as they were trying to put the thing around her neck, it's like a plastic collar or whatever with her name on it to mark her and where her cage is and stuff. I picked up Molly and I walked out the door. There was just no way I was gonna let Molly go through that. So I get home and I tell Jerry what I did, and he said I would have done the same thing. Molly doesn't deserve to spend her last night or any night in that much pain in a cage. She had given the doctors no permission to give her anything for pain, no pain medication at all. So you're gonna sit there and make a dog suffer all freaking night. So I had it. I immediately called other vet's office and I found one. I explained everything to them and they said that they would do it. But they didn't have any appointments until the next morning. So I brought her there and I was bawling. I could not stop crying. And so I went into this little room and they prepped her in a back room, and I held her little face in my hand right here. Sorry. She was wrapped up in her favorite blanket, and with her head in my hand, I had my face to her head like this, and I was going like this to her and petting her body with my other hand and letting her know that I loved her and everything like that. And she finally passed away. And as soon as I walked out the door, I felt like I was gonna fall over because it's such an immense pain. Like I didn't see Molly as a dog. I felt like she was my kid, but not as important as my kid. You know what I mean? Like, it would hurt way more if something happened to my daughter, but it hurt more than losing just a pet. So I came home and I buried her in the backyard, and his mom was livid. She didn't even believe I did that. She told him, "Oh, I bet you that she just let the vets dispose of her body. There's no way she dug a hole." And he didn't respond for like a couple of minutes. And then all of a sudden, she's like, "It's okay, Jerry. You don't have to go dig a hole for her to make it true or whatever." So she just did not believe it all. She's freaking crazy. Sorry, I'm trying to move this. So Molly finally passed. It was like the worst day too, because she passed away on 9/11. So that's definitely going to be a very sad day for us. I had to remove everything of hers from the house, from his sight, because he's had her since she was a puppy, since he was in his early teens. Even seeing her leash hanging up on the key thing out on the front door. If he saw it, he would have lost it. Like, he lost it quite a few times, crying and everything. He just couldn't handle it. He didn't want to be there when she was put down either, because he didn't think he would be able to handle that. So I guess being a survivor of narcissism, you're able to be the strong one for everybody. Even when you don't have anybody to be strong for you when you're sad or upset or having something tragic happen. But his mom made her suffer longer than she had to, because she wanted control over the situation. And she was like, "Your actions have reactions." And she was naming like narcissistic tactics or whatever, saying that I was doing them. And I'm like, wait, but you're doing it right now. Now, also, there was another point where she was saying that she was willing to let Molly be let down. This was the night that I brought her back from the vets, when she wanted them to keep her. She was like, okay, I'll agree to have her put down, just meet me. Well, she told him to have me meet her at the vet's office so that she could see her one more time. I was fine with it. And then I texted her. I said, "Hey, just let me know what time to be there with her so we can have her put down." And we can do it. But all she wanted to do was talk crap. And she talked crap for a good like 15 minutes before I'm like, "Look, I'm tired of you calling me names." She called me stupid so many times. And I'm like, if I can't trust that you're not going to bring drama to the vets, then I'm not going to bring her. I said, Molly's going to be put down. The last thing she needs in her last moments of life is listening to you scream at me. So she just kept going on. So I was like, you know what, never mind, deal's off the table. I'm not going to meet you at the vet's office. And then she had the gall to tell Jerry that the vet's office didn't appreciate me lying to them about bringing her. I never told her I would told them that I would bring her back, and I really never told them anything. I just took her and left. She's the one that told him, and she's trying to sit there and make it sound like the vet doctor is mad at me. So anyway, that's the story of kind of what happened. And I'm so sorry that this was long and drawn out, and I jumped all over the place, because I'm still emotionally feeling losing her, because it's been less than 2 weeks. Well, it's been almost 2 weeks. other things that his mom does is she will text him or call him, and if he doesn't pick up or answer immediately, she freaks out. And then if her and I are on talking terms, she will contact me because she knows I reply right away and that I try to get him to reply to get her off my back. She doesn't just text once. She will text like 10 times in a row because she believes that when she texts somebody, they have to text her back right away. Otherwise, they're doing something shady, not wanting to talk to her. But yet, when you text her, and then, you know, maybe a couple hours later, you say, hey, just wanted to see if you got my message, blah, 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 blah. She'll text me back saying, I have priorities. I don't have time. I'm doing this, this, and this. Okay, you know. So that's another double standard with her, but it has actually caused problems in our relationship because her constantly contacting him not replying, contacting me over and over and over again until I get him to contact her back. And it's caused some issues with me and him because I'm like, look, please just get her off my back, contact her, just tell her yes or no. So thankfully she said, oh, you're dead to me. So I don't have to put up with that anymore. I've put up with almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in, well, him and I's anniversary is in November, but I met his mom in December. So it's been almost 6 years. But she's always talking to me like she's interrogating me. And she's constantly trying to find things out. Like she's trying to find things bad with me. And she hasn't really been able to find anything out bad about me that she can pick on me about because she likes to sit there and say, oh, you think you're so perfect. No, I don't think I'm perfect. But I strive to try to be perfect because, what perfect is in my mind, because I was raised by a narcissistic mother that nothing I do is right. So I want to try to make sure I can do things that are right, you know? So, she also liked to snoop a lot. I don't know, she just hated that she couldn't find anything wrong with me. So she used this whole Molly situation to make me look like a bad person. Going around saying I murdered her dog. I killed her dog. I'm a dog killer. No, I put her out of her misery because she was suffering. But also, if she wasn't my dog, why did she have no problem with me getting her fixed when she was younger? And I paid for it. And no problem with me paying for all the vet visits that she had. Molly had chronic ear infections. We had multiple vet visits a year just for that. Probably at least between, I would say about maybe 4 on average a year, just for her ear infections. She had no problem with me paying for it. So, she has also missed holidays to go on vacations. And then she sits there and says, oh, I haven't gone on vacation, so I'm just going to go on vacation. But yet she went on vacation like a month or 2 before. So she's always making it sound like she never does something, even though she does it, and that's why she misses family occasions, birthdays. I think she missed Thanksgiving, last year because she wanted to go somewhere. It's whatever, you know, it's what she wants to do. If she wants to go somewhere, but she makes it seem like, oh, I never get to go on vacation and this is my only chance, even though she just went on vacation. Everything always has to be about her. If it's too hot in your house, she's like, oh my God, you got it so hot in here. But it's on 70 degrees and it's not hot. And even her own daughter has told me that she feels as though only her emotions matter. Like, she'll be talking to her mom, and when things happen, only her mom's emotions matter. But yet, if her daughter has anything, then it's just, oh, pushed to the side. She also told me, oh, I'm not impressed because I have one kid, she had 3, and I'm like, you know what, I'm a single mom of one kid, I'm busy, I don't have time to be sitting in a vet office for 5 hours waiting on your reply. And she's like, oh, you only have one kid, I'm not impressed, why don't you have 3? Then maybe I'll be impressed. And I'm like, I'm not going to go around and have a whole bunch more kids to impress you. I gave it to her and she did not like it at all. If I just let her sit there and talk to me like that the whole time and I just kind of ignore it, she would just keep on doing it and keep on doing it. So I gave it right back to her to let her know I wasn't going to take it. I'm going to defend myself. And that's exactly what I did. And then she stopped talking to me. But she'll still talk crap to Jerry about me. I don't really care. He says he deletes the text because he pays no attention to it. She rants to him and he doesn't even reply. There have been many times in the past where she has texted him and he's like throwing the phone and said like, stupid bitch, like constantly texting me. I guess being mad at her. And the other thing she wanted to do was ruin his chance of getting into the military. She is super obsessed with him. She has 2 other kids, one that lives with her and one that lives a half an hour from her. We live an hour from her. So we live the furthest, but yes, she wants him to go and put up a shelf for her, even though her son lives there, her other son lives there and can easily do it himself. Nope, she wants Jerry to do it. She does it because I feel like she's always trying to like take him away because she feels like I'm taking Jerry from her. Jerry, I believe in this scenario, is the golden child. And she kind of treats them all as if they're the golden child. I don't know how it happened, what the dynamic was before me, but I'm the scapegoat now. I don't know who was before. But in any case, with Jerry trying to join the military, he's almost done with his tattoo stuff. He was told by his recruiter that he's not to sign up for anything else like credit cards, any more car loans, any type of loans before he gets in, because he has student loans, which is high, and then he has his current car loan. And if he signs up for anything else, he said he's most likely will not get in because of finances. So she wanted him to finance another car for her. She needed a co-signer, and he said, no, I can't because my recruiter told me not to. I kid you not, she was freaking texting him, trying to find ways around how he can still co-sign for her. And she did not care one bit if it was going to hurt his ability to get into the military. I think he probably would have done it if I didn't back him up. I told him, don't feel bad, because she was trying to manipulate him and make him feel like a piece of shit of a child for not doing it for her. You know what? Now I'm trying to think, maybe he isn't the golden child. Maybe he is the scapegoat. Or maybe he's both. But, she was doing that, and now she's kind of mad at him because he won't co-sign a car for her. The car that he has now, she actually co-signed it for him, but she's ruined it. He's been paying off that car now for 6 years. This month or next month makes 6 years, because he missed one payment a few years ago, and she freaked out, so she refinanced it. He'll be done paying for it in another 5 or 6 months. I think it's 6 months from now, maybe 7, something like that. But to have a car loan that long, and so he's paying thousands more because she freaked out and changed it on him. And she's always crying, oh, you need to get me off your car loan, da 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 da. I'm like, you would be by now if you didn't do that to him. And now he's forced to pay all this extra money. God, this video is freaking long. Okay, maybe I'll tell you more about her another time, because this video is probably like 40-something minutes long. Anyway, so that's what happened with my little Molly girl, and all the drama that went down with his mom, and how she tried to control everything. Well, she's always trying to control everything, even our relationship. Tell me that I'm too old for him just because I'm 7 years older than him. And she's always tried to, well, she tried several times to break us up. And she's also tried to run our lives, trying to tell us, oh, you shouldn't get married, you guys shouldn't have kids. Like, she's talked to us multiple times, and she's even straight up told him, don't have kids with her. We don't plan on having any anyway. There was a time a few years ago that we were talking about it, and we were thinking about doing it, and then his mom got in the middle, and then he was like, oh no, my mom said we shouldn't, so. But good thing, I mean, not good thing that she did that, but it's good thing that we didn't, because we decided that one's enough. He's gonna adopt my daughter, and everything's gonna work out that way. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned a little bit about my narcissistic future mother-in-law that I will probably never really have anything to do with, and she will not be at the wedding. Have a good one. Take care.